So recently, I feel like there's been a topic that's been placed in my heart when talking to God that I really wanted to share. Basically, an identity crisis that I feel like a lot of people are going through. A lot of people want to simply define themselves by four letters or words or stars or our birth date. Pretty meaningless when you look at how complex human beings truly are. A lot of us try to find ourselves in things that can help us fit in. In some ways, that can be a little helpful, but it's not ever going to satisfy. It's never going to really bring us to a place where we feel like, this is it. I have found my way. Here I am.
Then I looked at all the works that my hands had done, and on all the labor in which I had toiled. And indeed all was vanity and a grasping for the wind. There was no profit under the sun.
I feel like it's really easy for us to put our worth in things that seem to be everything everybody wants, and money and clothes and beauty. There are people who want riches, and even when they achieve riches, that's never enough. They want more money. And there's never enough. It's never gonna fill in a hole in them. Being the most beautiful person in the room doesn't mean you're the kindest person in the room or even the most popular person in the room. It might mean that you have no friends or no true friends. And unfortunately, I don't think society really gives grace to people who seem to have it all. I think our society is actually a little bit cruel because it's like, oh, well, what are you complaining about? You have all the money in the world. Or what are you complaining about? You have all the beauty in the world.
A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones.
Somebody can have everything that you ever wanted and still be sad. They can still be miserable. They can still be depressed. They can still feel hurt. They're not exempt from it just because they've achieved something that we don't have. Doesn't mean that they have it all. They don't. And even if they have all the things, doesn't necessarily mean that their heart is full and they have joy. We need to look beyond what we see and what we have, what we can hold in our hands, and really grasp the importance of having internal peace and having internal joy and having internal worth. That is more valuable than gold. That is more valuable than anything in the world, because if you have joy in your heart, there's no one out there on the outside who can ever shake that. If you have peace, if you have true peace, nobody can come and disturb that easily.
You are complete in him, who is the head of all principality and power.
To simply put it, I believe the only thing that we should really identify ourselves in is in Christ. Those of us who don't believe in God, what do we turn to? How do we get ourselves there? Well, first of all, I encourage everybody to believe in God, because God is perfect. We are imperfect. So by knowing Him, by believing Him, His imperfection fills in the gaps for us, basically. If you don't want to believe in God, if you're very headstrong about that, I encourage you to believe that you're more than the money you make. You're more than depression. You can't be simply boiled down to this one little thing. I believe it's very important that we put in our best efforts and put our best foot forward, but it doesn't mean that that's all we can be. It means that this is just a new step in your life, a new page in your life. And as you know, our life is a story.
And even the very hairs of your head are numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows.
Our past experiences shape our future, and what we do now also shapes our future. So don't just sit there and think that I'm so miserable in this state and this is all I will ever be and this is all I can ever achieve because I can't see past this. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not. It's hard, and it's even hard if you don't have somebody you lean on, be it God, or even if you don't have like a friend or family that you can lean on. It's very hard, but it's not impossible to get out of bed and decide to really try today and decide to really have a good day. I think we need to reevaluate as a society, as an individual. We need to reevaluate what we place our worth in. By reevaluating what we place our worth in, we can start to begin to understand uh, who we are then.